Gonna talk about some regulations, stuff that we are working on, and that's about it.
The new DJI FPV system, please.
We don't do a whole lot of reviewing of actual drone stuff. We're more on the regulations and laws kind of side of stuff.
Oh, and I presume it's only American laws and regulations.
Yes, it is focused on American. Yes.
I'm Puerto Rican, so that doesn't count to me.
It does.
It does actually.
You're
Wait,
part
what?
of the United States, man.
Puerto Rico is part of the United States, sir.
I'm screwed. Shit.
Language, sir.
Second warning.
All right, I think we'll go ahead and get started. We're probably not going to have any more joiners this evening, and that's perfectly fine. So good evening, everybody. My name's Cujo. We got Dan, Dave, and Alex with us tonight, as usual. I don't have a ton of articles tonight, so depending on the conversation tonight, it might be a short show. The news cycle is obviously being dominated by other things right now. And even to get what I've got, I've kind of had to dig super deep. So
at least I don't have to fill up my drone with gasoline. That's a good thing.
Yes, absolutely. But at any rate, I'll go ahead and get started on some of that stuff. So let me get my screen shared here.
The battery price is gonna go up.
The prices of everything are going up.
There was a video recently of a drone that was running on gasoline, and it looked scary.
No, there actually are several different UAS systems that do operate on gasoline, and they operate on gasoline to charge batteries that are on
hybrid
board.
systems.
Yeah,
okay,
so
that makes sense.
And then there's the old-timey Dave planes that are also gas-powered.
Dave planes.
When
He's
you
talking
arm
about
the-
nitro, right?
When
So-
you arm the switch, you're gonna cut your fingers off.
I'm sorry? Say that again?
When you arm the drone, you're gonna cut your fingers off pretty hard.
Well, that's why you want to do things safely and ensure your fingers aren't near when you arm your drone. I mean, that's a big thing.
Remember to take off your propellers.
Absolutely. When you're working on your drone, big deal. All right, so but to go back, yes, there are hybrid drones. There's actually gasoline powered ones, there's hydrogen powered drones, and a couple other variants of that kind of stuff. So it's actually not as foreign as you think it would be. But this one, let me post the link here. This is NASA invests in solid state silent drone flight systems. So the space agency has flown a helicopter on Mars, which, by the way, was expected to last for, I think, about 5 missions and approximately a couple of weeks or a month. And it's still going a year later, and it's still hopping around Mars in little 20-second flights.
Hopping is a good way to describe it.
Yeah, it does. So super proud of that little guy that's stuck on another planet checking things out. But anyway, it's now supporting an effort to bring stealthy delivery drones to urban environments on Earth and maybe beyond. So it says NASA is investing in a new kind of airplane, one that works off a propulsion system with no moving parts. The space agency funds research into futuristic, experimental, and nascent technologies through the NASA Innovative Advanced Concepts Program. The latest round of NIAC fellows announced last month includes MIT aerospace engineering professor Stephen Barrett, who has been working for years on a silent, solid-state flying system. Barrett and the MIT Electric Aircraft Initiative published a paper about the technology on in the journal in the journal Nature in 2018. Rather than rotors or propellers, they developed a small aircraft with a series of electrodes beneath the wings, creating high voltage electric field that ionizes and then accelerates nitrogen molecules in the atmosphere to propel the plane forward. That
These things have
sounds
been around for a while, actually. I'm not sure how new this is.
well. It says 2018 that there was
I
a
think they're
paper
even
in
older.
there.
They're called, there's called Ionocraft. There's a whole wiki
Yeah,
page.
So-
the type of propulsion has been used in space, but it's pretty weak.
Yes, it is absolutely, and it's ion drives, and I've read a lot about ion drives for spaceflight, but I've not heard it for airplanes before. But I will take your word for it. I didn't know that we were actually being able to do this, but then the video on it says ion drive the first flight. So, but yeah, there you go. Ion propelled aircraft. Perfect. So let's see. So why is NASA interested in silent urban delivery drone tech? Well, the space agency also works in aeronautics here on Earth, but it may have its eyes on more distant destinations after flying its own tiny helicopter on Mars. Solid state technology without moving parts is always an attractive perk for space missions, where repairing worn out components is often impossible. So pretty interesting.
Yeah, they are pretty cool.
Absolutely.
The one thing that I remember about them was they had basically no lifting capabilities. So maybe that's the thing that they figured out, is they figured out how to actually get a little more thrust out of them.
Yeah, it might be. I mean, the whole thing about airplanes is getting, air moving over the wing. So if they
What
can get
happens
the
if you
thrust, they can
add,
fly.
what happens if you add that type of motor in a drone? Do you get prop wash?
So I would imagine if it's accelerating molecules, then you're going to get some kind of wash. I don't know, how intense that would be, but specifically on a drone, I don't know that something like that is going to actually propel the drone. Now, what I can imagine is getting the actual aircraft in the air and then utilizing the ion drive technology essentially to keep it moving once it's already there.
Yeah.
So that might be an
Yes.
option.
Small problem. The motors can get hot and burn in the frame.
Fair enough.
Yeah, burn in the frame.
All right. So the other thing that I was going to bring, and this is a Facebook post I initially read, and almost the second I read it, Dave sent me an email on it regarding drone security. So this seems like an interesting concept, and I'm going to bring something kind of a step beyond this as kind of a conversation piece. But this gentleman, Mike, he said, we've seen 100 plus posts about stolen drones in the last year. Our team decided to build a decent stolen drone tracking system, which is desktop only for now, so you can't use it on your phone. But we've now built a system that not only tracks this info, but also crawls the web, searching for it in common marketplaces such as Facebook, eBay, and Craigslist. Once found, it alerts you. It's hard to track serial numbers that are in Facebook comments and share from groups that are private or hidden. It's hard for buyers to quickly determine if the serial number of a drone they are buying has been reported as stolen or legitimate, and it's difficult for people or law enforcement to find the owner of a drone once it's been located or seized, and your information remains completely private, just contactable. To further this, it enables drone detection systems using an API to potentially see your drone mid-air and notify you back via our system where it was seen. It's completely free to use. I guess you can pay to supercharge searches if you want. And the point is to make up for what the manufacturers don't seem to be able to do, which is help. Really keen to get your honest feedback to help make it harder for criminals to sell stolen drones online. If your drone has been stolen, feel free to add it in. So I pulled it up, and you can go in here and you can report a lost drone, or you can report a drone found, and you can see several people have reported their drone stolen. There is some how-tos in here on how does it work. But essentially, I think he kind of gave the gist. It's essentially an API that crawls the different places where you can sell stuff. I would assume like OfferUp, Craigslist, eBay, Facebook, and searches for those serial numbers so that and once located, they can kind of clue you into where it's being sold and that kind of stuff, so you can turn that information over to the authorities. And it's a really interesting system, I think. And as long as it's being helpful, I think it's a great idea. Now, I was thinking about this the other day, and one of the interesting thoughts I had would, as a rare benefit of remote ID, would be being able to utilize remote ID similar to what people use Apple AirTags for. If your drone is in the air, and especially if you have a standard remote ID drone, it's in the air, it's broadcasting. Somebody picks up that serial number. You've reported that specific serial number stolen, and then that information can get fed back to you or fed back to authorities as a potential stolen drone that's being flown, and maybe alert the authorities to that and help you get your drone back. And it was a thought that I had, and I was just like, that's a rare side benefit that I wonder how many people have actually thought of to
Then
utilize that.
what would happen if someone found your remote ID number and reported it missing for them?
Well, that's not a bad idea, a bad thought either, which is why I'm like, let's have a discussion about this. Is this something that could be utilized effectively as a deterrent to drone theft?
Seems like there's some
Also
potential
like it.
there.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just saying, I think that it sounds like there's some potential there.
Oh yeah.
And it looks like Kenji's using it. That DJ FPV from Oregon with the picture of the van.
Yeah, I
in the
think he
bottom
had
right.
one stolen fairly recently, right?
The-
Oh, didn't he have a whole bunch of
yeah.
stuff stolen?
Yeah, I think he
I
did.
think
Yeah.
that's the picture of his front van on the Oregon one. It's on the right column in the middle. Our right column in the middle. DJI FPV.
Okay.
I think it looks like. I think that's might be Kenji's.
Yeah, the third
Oh,
one
there
down.
it is. I see it.
Yep.
I see it there. Huh.
I think the big thing for these systems is they kind of need to be opt-in. Like
For like remote
like,
ID?
yeah, just for any type of thing where we're going to be pulling in that kind of data. If we're going to have remote ID, if we're going to be giving it to third-party sites, we need to have that kind of be an opt-in thing. Because otherwise, we're just going to have people tracking us all the time.
Dave, I
Well.
think you were trying to say something. I think you're muted, bud.
Yeah, we definitely can't hear him if he's trying to talk to us.
Is he mute?
But I could imagine.
Check your mic sensitivity.
Yeah, I could imagine that like the remote ID app that will exist someday for mobile phones could automatically check a website like this for lost or stolen drones. And if you fire that up and it sees one, it could say, "Hey, by the way, you're near a drone that's been reported lost or stolen."
Right. Or
Yeah, that could be really cool.
So I mean, I think one of the things is I agree that if you're going to be providing that info, obviously if you're going to report a drone stolen, that's your opt-in right there, right? So but on the flip side, remote ID is going to be broadcasting your certain information into the ether either way.
One
So
question.
I'm sorry.
Let's pretend that the person that stole the drone has the drone in their hand, and they have their finger in the prop. What happens if you arm it? You get a lawsuit?
Depends on the country, but in the U.S., you'd still be in trouble for hurting them. You can't hurt someone just because they stole something from you.
Exactly. But
One
even
time I-
further than that, I mean, depending,
One time
the
I
prop's
put my
not gonna.
phone on a drone.
So, my thought is that if it can be utilized that way in terms of being able to locate stuff, not many benefits to remote ID from our side, but that might be one of them. Dave, are you fixed?
We've got video.
I don't know if we have audio.
The opposite problem.
Well,
now.
I can see he's muting and unmuting his headphones.
All right. So, at any rate, I thought it was an interesting thought, and maybe something that could be incorporated into some future remote ID. But just FYI, is my idea first.
Get the patent quick.
I know,
Using
right?
remote ID to find lost and stolen drones.
One thing I was thinking is for a lot of the freestyle drones, this is going to be a little harder to implement until there is remote ID, simply because we don't really have serial numbers on a lot of our drones like that.
Absolutely. Yeah.
You have the
and-
FAA registration number.
True.
Well, right, but you're not broadcasting anything, so you wouldn't be able to implement that anyway. So, and I would imagine the first thing that somebody would take off of a drone would be any kind of identification stickers, right? So,
Yeah.
I mean, I know I generally use a Dymo label maker to label my guys. So, because I can print it and it's I can trim it to fit in some weird place, but it's just a thought, because I mean we're going to be essentially inputting the serial number of our broadcast modules in, or if you've got standard remote ID, the serial number of your actual drone. So I mean, I don't think it would be too far, and you can literally use the general public almost as a sounding board for locating these things and bouncing that information around. So who knows? Just a thought. But that's really all I have for news tonight. Again, I apologize. There's just not a whole lot out there. Even my normal search terms are bringing back things for Russia and Ukraine and that kind of stuff, which I definitely don't want to go down that path this evening. But
Make a podcast.
but at any rate, Alex, do you have anything for us while Dave's trying to sort out his technical issues?
Sure. So multi-GP side of things, we had the global qualifier contest, narrowed it down to 9 tracks, and this year the track that won the design contest was AK's track again. So he
Oh,
won
dang.
the competition twice in a row. So we're
One of
running
the local
AK's track
guys.
for the GQ this season. That the GQ season's going to be from April 1st to I think July 18th, I believe. It's a shorter season. So
Mhm.
the 3 race prior requirement to hosting a GQ.
Oh,
Oh, we lost him.
Okay.
Goodbye, Alex. He's still here in the audio.
Oh, there we go. All right, keep talking, Alex.
I think Dave messed with my computer somehow.
Contagious.
All right, so it's a shorter GQ season, so that means you got to practice a lot more and go to the races a lot more, and you have less time to get faster.
Yep.
Cutoff is still going to be 150 for pro class, and it'll go from there.
When you say the cutoff is 150, you're saying a minute 50?
Top 150
Oh,
pilots
the top
on the
150
leaderboard.
pilots. I wasn't paying close enough attention to catch what you meant by that.
Are you gonna be top 150, Alex?
Hopefully, we'll see about that one.
Good
That's the
luck.
goal.
All right. So let's see. I think Dave's still trying to sort himself out. So the only other thing I had, we can share that, right? I think it's already been shared other places.
Oh, flight test.
Yep.
Flight test.
So Dave and I are going to be going to Flightfest this year. So if you guys are headed that way already, fantastic. If you're not, I definitely encourage you guys to check it out. We have
No, I
been
care for my own good.
so we've been talking with Josh over at Flight Test, and we are going to be kind of spearheading the FPV side of the event over there. So obviously some big.
Hey, we can hear Dave. Sorry.
There he is. We'll take audio if no video. But yeah, so we've got some good plans. We're still working out some of the specifics, but we are going to be there for the 4 days there. So super excited to be able to go. I know Flight Test was one of the influences that I had when I first started in the hobby. I'm sure a lot of people can kind of concur with that. But they do a lot of great things, especially for education, and super happy to be invited to kind of go help them out and be a presence at their event. So super excited about that. So that's going to be a cool deal. Hey, we got a Dave. There we go.
On
All
your
right.
phone.
You say it looks like gave up on the computer.
Yes, I did.
So, Dave, what else you got for us tonight, sir?
Oh, can you hear me okay?
We
Yep.
can. You come
Yes.
through crystal clear.
The thank you. This computer with Discord just doesn't seem to be compatible. I checked on the dates of the ASTM balloting for the remote ID documentation, and this is important for manufacturers of standard remote ID as well as broadcast remote ID, because this is not the only, but it's a means of compliance document that we've been trying to get out the door since last August. So it's balloting is supposed to be complete towards the end of April 19, and then the document goes to the FAA, and then the FAA hopefully approves it. Now, the FAA has done yeoman's work with us, and us is the ASTM, and that's a standards development body, and this is hopefully they turn around the document in several months. That means that just prior to manufacturers having to start delivering a standard remote ID UAS with remote ID, that's when the means of compliance specification from the ASTM and approved by the FAA would be available. So not very good timing, but probably enough for the broadcast module, which of course is required September 2023. So I've been looking for this date, and certainly much later than we had hoped. But that's the status on the ASTM document. We've also just submitted the Beyond Visual Line of Sight Aviation Rule Making Committee document on March 4 to the FAA, and we're hopeful that in about a month the FAA will release that document as this is what was submitted by the ARC to the FAA, so that we can share the contents of that. Dan Oaks and I worked on that, and
Yeah,
I think that's. Josh?
I did see that on the schedule for that AUVSI symposium, Jay Merkel's going to be talking about the Beyond Visual Line of Sight ARC. So hopefully they'll publish it before then, and he'll have more that he can say about it.
Right. That'd be a short conversation otherwise.
Well, like the previous AC meeting where they just didn't say anything about it but talked about it. Yeah.
Well, you know.
Yeah, that's exponential coming up April 25, 6, 7, and 8. Is that right, Alex?
Yes, that's correct.
So that's not much time for them to get that out.
For 27, 28.
You'll be at the AUVSI symposium?
Hopefully. That's the goal. I have to get the school to pay for that.
Good man.
There you
Yeah,
go.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous
and
how much it
everyone-
costs.
Yeah,
Yeah,
is.
it is.
Yep.
It is, and for us, it's it's a great networking event. A number of the people who have worked on the DAC, the AAAC tasking group that we just completed with Alex and I were working on that, on the integration of STEM,
K to 12.
aviation specific STEM to K through 12. Some of those folks will be there. A bunch of the Beyond Visual Line of Sight ARC people will be there. But it is the AUVSI continues to be commercial only. And certainly one of the things that Alex has been working on is to see if they're interested in a presentation on something recreational. But 2 years ago now, I hosted a panel. So they're little tiny forays into the drones that outnumber commercial still by a factor. So we'll keep working, and we do have a good relationship with the CEO of AUVSI through the FAA AAAC work we've been doing. What else is coming up? Lots of other, and good for mentioning
Mayhem.
Flightfest Mayhem is coming up.
Yep.
And is Rotor Riot doing a rampage in May?
Yes, May 14, 15, or 13, 14. One of those day combinations. No, yeah, 14, 15, because it's a
Okay.
Saturday and Sunday.
Excellent.
And
I
they,
know
I think,
the 13th is a.
I think they also just announced another quad camp in California. I thought I saw
I
a
believe April.
headline for that.
Right.
Nice.
Yeah, that'll be
Very good.
great. 'Cause
Yeah.
that's
There's the
certainly
Milwaukee Ice Storm race.
Yeah, that's multi GP, right?
Yep.
Excellent. And that's in April as well, Alex?
Yep. It's the weekend after Exponential.
Great. And Josh, I did hear that you talking about Flight Fest.
I did,
And
yes.
and the dates on Flight Fest are 23 through 26 June, I believe.
Yep.
That sounds about right.
And there's IO, which is 6 through 12 June.
So hope
Lots
hope
of
the
lots
folks-
of great events coming up, guys. So
Really.
I definitely encourage if you can, and you can get out and go. Last 2 years have been kind of crazy for everybody, I'm sure. So get out, meet your friends, go have some fun, go flying. I think it's just going to be I'm hoping a good year for all that, and we're excited to be able to finally get out and participate at some of these events.
And us being
And
at Flight Fest is sort of just the first public evidence of flight test and the Flight Test Community Association, right? FTCA, and us working
Mhm.
together and hopefully making more and more progress on lots of things.
absolutely. So that's really all I have. So I feel like we're shortchanging you tonight, but usually I have 5 more articles to go. But I just could not find anything super newsworthy this week. So that's on me. And
I guess
and then
one reason why the news is so slow, but yet related to that, is there were a lot of drone related things related to what's going on over in Ukraine. I guess we could have brought up some of those articles, but people have probably seen all of those by now, how people are using drones over there to help for surveillance and everything like that. If we wanted to, we could get into things like, well, if they had remote ID, that wouldn't be such a good thing right now. If they had the US version of remote ID where it tells the pilot, anybody nearby where the pilot is.
yeah, exactly.
You wouldn't want to be flying a remote ID compatible drone in a war zone.
No, sure wouldn't. No, but I could have pulled a bunch of that stuff up, but honestly, I think giving people a break from that
Sure.
Is a little bit of I have a little soft spot for just giving people a break from real life for a minute. So, but in any case, I do appreciate everybody joining in. I do appreciate some of the feedback, and Yanni was kind enough to let me know that my ultra wide monitor is messing up his ability to view my articles, so I will try and shrink those windows going forward. I do appreciate that feedback. That's great feedback for me, so that I can get better content for you guys. So
Are you gonna make more?
absolutely, we do this every 2 weeks, buddy. Every 2 weeks, so
I'm
every
gonna go.
Wednesday. All right, well, you have a great night. And with that, unless there's any more feedback, I'll give you back the rest of your evening.
Yeah, anybody else have any questions for us that we can hopefully help answer? Or what did we forget to talk about this week?
Yeah, anything I missed? That would be a good one.
Don't leave your drone with your battery when you carry it around.
Absolutely. In fact, if you go to our website, fpvfc.org, you can click on the safety guidelines on there, and there's a whole bunch of great safety tips that you can use, especially since it sounds like you're learning a lot about drones right now. Things you need to do before you fly.
It's called ADHD.
Yep, you know what? I got it. I'm right there with you, buddy.
So, speaking of our website, I suppose we could bring up, we now have an affiliate link to the Pilot Institute.
Oh, yeah.
So if any of you are interested in paying for some help to get your Part 107 taken, if you follow our affiliate link, that'd be a great way to just sort of donate part of your payment to
what is the
us.
Part 107 thing?
That's if you want to do commercial operations in the United States. You need a Part 107 license to legally fly your drone for commercial reasons. If you're flying for anything other than fun in the United States, like, you know, you're doing it as part of a job, you're doing it to sell pictures, whatever, all kinds of things like that, you need a Part 107.
Or if you're just flying not for fun.
Yep. If you're flying because it's terrible and you hate it, you need your Part 107.
Yep.
So if you go down here, right here, we've got where you can become a member if you want to support us. You can check out, we've got a couple shirts that we sell. 2 of them, which were designed by Miss Creature. They're really cool. Alex is showcasing one of them right there. And then we've got our Pilot Institute affiliate link right there. Pilot Institute has a lot of great information, guys. If you're looking to get your Part 107, they've got paid courses, and they will guarantee that you pass, which is you don't see a lot of places do that. Great content. Greg has a great presentation style. He's not only a drone pilot, but a regular pilot, a full-scale pilot as well. So he's able to provide content that kind of caters to both sides of the coin when it comes to aviation. And they have a lot of free content as well. So I definitely encourage you guys to check them out. And then if you go up to the top here, we've got our safety guidelines, which is what I was telling Nas about over here. And you can go through those, just get some information. And on that, we've got education. So Dan has, and we're all working on some of these articles, so stay tuned for the future. But Dan has done some great work.
I just added that Part 107 link there too.
Yep.
Okay. Okay. Oh, wrong language. Oh yeah, it's cool.
I missed that, but okay. And then if you feel like you want to reach out to us, we've got our contact page, and you can reach out to us with any questions or comments or anything like that. So, and then just on some other stuff, we've got some resources here on how to reach out to your congressman, the remote ID final rule summary, if you're curious about what actually came out in the remote ID rule, and a couple other things that are going on. So, but yeah, definitely check it out if you've got some questions or anything like that.
The congressman thing kind of brought something up into my mind.
Yeah, what's up?
My state in Michigan has passed a law a while ago that has preempted all of the local municipalities from making any laws about drones.
Yep,
Yeah,
Arizona has that.
That might be something good to push towards the other states that don't have that, just to kind of shut down all these little local people trying to, put their foot down and stomp all these nasty drone pilots.
Yeah. Still doesn't stop some cities.
They still
Oh
try.
yeah, for sure. It definitely won't fix everything, but it's a good start.
It
Because
is a
like here
great
in Michigan,
start.
it's nice. We can just fly anywhere we want.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so
Arizona.
Pennsylvania has it. Arizona.
Yeah.
And several other states.
Like we were pushing in the Department of Parks, and for Oregon, they've got a rule coming up that the default will be you can fly unless there's some restriction across all their state parks. So it sounds like that's a similar or analogous regulation like you've got in Michigan, and I agree that would be a great effort to take up state by state.
Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely done some positive things for Arizona. In fact, Arizona basically states nobody can make a rule except for the state, and the state chooses to follow what the FAA says. Oh, and by the way, every city has to provide at least one park where you can fly model airplanes or drones. So that's been a boon for us to have places to fly if you're not just flying out in normal spots. So yeah, for sure. All right, so yeah, if you've got any questions, feel free to reach out to us through our website here on Discord. Check out the shirts. We like them. We think they're pretty cool. Alex is rocking it, and I will also when we go to Flightfest, I will bring samples of the shirts.
Stickers, lots of stickers.
Lots of stickers. We got slaps. We got the standard FPVFC logo. We got the cool I don't know what we're calling this, the graffiti logo. So we'll hand those out. Those are free. And then I'll have samples of the shirts. We won't be selling the shirts there, but we'll just point you back to the website to grab them there. Just because we're going to be traveling light and trying to bring as much other drone related stuff that we possibly can. So, but in the meantime, we'll see you in 2 weeks. And hopefully we'll have some better articles happening. And yeah. So thanks everybody. Y'all have a great night. And thank you guys.
Thank you.
Good night. Have a good day.
Thank you.